All right, everybody, welcome back to today's personal development lesson. As always, I am your host, Joel Dunn. Today, we are going to be talking about something super important when it comes to leadership, and that is leading yourself. We're going to be talking about 6 ways to master self-leadership. And here's why. Because before you can try to lead anyone, you need to get good at leading yourself. Most people want the title, the team, the recognition. Few stop to realize that if you can't even lead yourself, you're not going to sustain leading others. That's why self-leadership is an invisible ceiling to your influence. Think about it. The things that you say, are you following through and doing them? We talked about this in lessons before about, creating the self-confidence loop. When you say you're going to do something, you need to do it for yourself, because when you do it for yourself, you recognize that you are following through on your word, which develops self-confidence. But that's also true for developing leadership. Because number one, you keep promises to yourself. If you don't trust you, why should anyone else trust you? Think about it in the morning. Every time you hit snooze or you skip the workout or you break your word to yourself, you are weakening your leadership muscle. And self-leadership can also be described as the word that we always use, and we hate to hear it, but discipline. Because discipline is simply self-trust practiced daily. It's not practiced sometimes. It's practiced daily. It's one of those things, it's a muscle that you have to build up if you're going to lead other people. So first, you need to focus on keeping promises and leading yourself by your word and your actions. Number 2, you need to audit your inputs. Why? Because you are the direct reflection of your inputs. So, is it garbage in, garbage out? Or are you putting goodness in and getting goodness out? The podcasts, the rooms you sit in, the conversations you allow, those are silently programming your output. Your input becomes what you output. So if you want to level up your life, you need to level up what you're consuming. And congratulations for consuming this, because my goal is to help level up and to create goodness in so that you can put goodness out. Number 3, you need to create rhythms, not just goals. Because goals are the scoreboard, but rhythms are the daily plays. Rhythms are your playbook for the game of life. The people who win long term aren't chasing the dopamine hit from accomplishing goals. They're locked into the rhythms that make winning inevitable. So we say this quite a bit. When you're focused on the goal and the winning and the results, oftentimes you're missing out on the important part, which is the process. The process is the rhythm. Fall in love with the rhythm. Fall in love with your plays. Fall in love with the plan. And the scoreboard will reflect that. So make sure that you are locking in your plays and creating that rhythm so that for you, winning is not an option, it's inevitable. Oh man, this one's a tough one for me to say. It's also a tough one for me to hear. Number 4, train emotional control. Leaders who can master their emotions end up mastering the game. Why? Because leaders who can't master their emotions end up being mastered by them. Think about that. If you are not in control of them, they are controlling you. So anger, fear, doubt, they're all neutral. They're all natural. They're a part of your life. They come whether you want them or not, but they're not neutral. You have the option to decide whether you're going to allow them to put you into reverse or put you into forward. You're either going to allow them to fuel you, or you're going to use them to fool you. You are going to allow them to show you a future that is not true, or you are going to use them to create the future that you want. You know, we talk about fear all the time is not being true. It is false evidence of a reality you have not yet seen. So if it's false and you're controlling the emotion, you have the ability to create what is actually true. The false outcome may not happen. But think about this. Even if what you fear does happen, if you're in control of it and you're aware of it, you have the ability to go past, over, or through what it is you are fearing. You know, courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is doing the thing in spite of being afraid. So today, learn to train your emotions and choose courage every time you come up against an emotion that is going to hold you back. Number 5, build a personal board of directors. You know, we talk about your circle all the time. So here's a different way of thinking about it. You know, we talk about circle as the 5 people that you hang out with most. But when you are trying to create something, when you're trying to do something bigger and better than you need to get a personal board of directors. Because every CEO has a board. Why shouldn't you? You are the CEO of your life. You are the CEO of your entrepreneurial business. You are the CEO of what goes on in your day. Surround yourself with 2 to 3 people who know your blind spots. Ask them. They'll tell you the truth, even when you don't want to hear it, because self-leadership is strengthened through the word that strikes fear into the heart of everybody under the sound of my voice right now: accountability. Discipline and accountability are the 2 most feared words, and this one shows up right now. When you have a personal board of directors, when you've got people in your circle that are pushing you towards greatness, they're going to strengthen you through the accountability. And you should welcome the accountability. You should welcome the critiques, the criticism from these people. And why is it important to have these people? Because if you don't have these specific people that are speaking into your life, you will allow people that have no vested interest in your success giving you things that may derail you because you actually listen to what they say. If you have your board of directors in line and they're saying the things to you, you can normally squash the things that you're hearing from people around you. You're listening to the ones that have impact, the ones that are pushing you, and everything else that's just noise, you can ignore. So creating your personal board of directors allows you to check in to make sure that you are sticking to what you said you would. They're going to help push you and lift you up and help you with the blind spots of the things that you can't see so that you can become better in the areas you may not know you need to get better in. So make sure that you're finding those 2 to 3 people and surrounding yourself with them so that you can grow to the best leader you can be. And finally, number 6, I'm going to put this one on the top of the list of priorities. You know, maybe we should have started with this one and had this one be number 1. but practice private integrity. The person you are when nobody's watching is the leader that you really are. Character builds in the dark and is sustained when you're in the light. Private victories always precede public ones. So what are you doing in private to build your integrity, to build your ethics, to build your character, to build your code of conduct? What are the things that you are focused on to create the best version of you in private, so that when you're in the light, when you step out into the light, your influence and impact can be a light to those around you? Guys, this topic of self-leadership hasn't been the center of, any of our other lessons. It's something that we've talked about indirectly, but it ties directly to all of the things that we talk about when it comes to discipline, legacy, influence, leadership, leading a team. These are the things that when you focus on them daily, they multiply the impact that you have with others. So again, to recap, the 6 ways that you can master self-leadership. Number 1, keep the promises to yourself. Number 2, audit your inputs. Number 3, create rhythms, not just goals. Number 4, train for emotional control. Number 5, build a personal board of directors. And finally, number 6, practice private integrity. Guys, take these things, implement them today, train on them with the people that you're mentoring, the people in your leadership group, so that they can use them to have greater influence and greater impact beyond your reach. Guys, I hope this helped. Go out and make it an amazing day, and I hope your week is as awesome as you are.